Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. The lighting and the fan is courtesy of the air conditioner, which is why we're in a different location of the YouTube studio of yours truly, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch. So welcome to the official entry for the Llewellyn's 2025 Tarot Calendar for August 2025. Now, and first, there's no spread, so this will be a shorter video. We have the Strength card from the Inner Light Tarot. We have an article about the two symbols depicted on the card. We have the cheetah and the flowing hair. And we also have an article called Power from Within. Give you a quick show. Of course, there will be a photograph of this in the video, so you know what to do. So the Strength card from the Inner Light Tarot, which, by the way, was written by and illustrated by Serene Borsella. Love that. Anyone who has ever meditated has experienced all the voices trying to pull focus and distract them from their task. Eyes closed, she resolves to hold her ground until it is the voices that subside. I have to comment on this because I'm somebody that has been meditating on, for the most part, a semi-regular basis for several years, probably closer to 3 decades at this point. And I will tell you that sometimes I can actually meditate with that kind of a background. If you have ever ridden on a subway in New York City, whether it's Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, or Staten Island, it can be very noisy, especially underground. And I have achieved, not necessarily enlightenment, but I have achieved a heightened state of awareness while meditating on the subway. It is not at all the ideal, because sometimes it's just how it is. Sometimes I can't wait until I'm on a mountaintop. And I've never been on a mountaintop anyway. Not that I have anything against that, but, you know, just never been on a mountaintop before. I've been in a mountainous area, but I digress. So, when it comes to engaging in meditation, do what works best for you. Absolutely do what works best for you. And I do invite you to experiment with different breathing patterns. My Reiki master teacher taught me that when we inhale through our mouths and exhale through our noses, we are setting the chakras in motion. That's one of the reasons why when I meditate, I inhale through my mouth and I exhale through my nose. But I digress. So, we have the cheetah. Have you ever watched the way big cats walk? They possess a grace and confidence that speaks of immense reserves of power coiled within. And I have to also add domestic cats as well, like Bost, who's over there engaging in a very meditative face. Try moving with this same poise and moxie. It will help you find your courage. And the flowing hair. While other elements in the card suggest composure and self-possession, her beautiful billowing hair, honey, that's the wind, honey. That's Storm hair. Marvel X-Men Storm, of course. But also Storm. Her beautiful billowing hair reminds us of the untamed part of her spirit and wildness within. The key is knowing when to contain it and when to set it free. Sometimes you need to roar. Sometimes a minute, or if you prefer, a demure growl gets the point across. And now, power from within. A worthy goal of any tarot reading is empowerment, which is exactly what you get from yours truly, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch. Whether it is tarot, oracle, Lenormand, etc. This doesn't mean just telling yourself or your client or your querent or your seeker that everything will be wonderful and rosy and work itself out for the best. Rather, it means finding a way to accept the reality of any challenges or hardships indicated by the cards, and then formulating some plan of action to make a positive change. Hopefully you will leave the table in a better place than when you sat down. I love that. I love that phrasing. Hopefully you will leave the table in a better place than when you sat down. I love that a lot, actually. I really do. Sometimes the only viable plan of action is to find a way to endure until the troubles pass. Strength speaks of power from within rather than power over others. You know, I must admit, I've never looked at the strength card as power over others. In fact, maybe it's because my rising sign is Leo. I always look at it like power from within, or, said another way, being powerful and being empowered. This is the quality of fortitude, one of the earliest names for the strength card. The ability to withstand hardships without bending or breaking in the process. It's like a bamboo tree. Bamboo tree is strong, but it's still capable of swaying with the wind. But it does not break because it is not rigid. It does not crack open or crack into pieces because it is willing to be flexible and flowing. Not unlike the billowing hair. It may be painful, but if you can hold to your purpose and your principles and outlast the storms, you shall awaken an inner fire and carry it within you ever after. Resist the temptation to throw in the towel when the cards initially disappoint. I love the expression, don't quit until the miracle happens. Explore further to find the choice you or your client or your querent or your seeker can make to take back the power. A useful question is, who do I want to be in this moment, and how can I commit to being that person? And given that the sun is in Leo, and given that I have one of my personal favorite goddesses of the resistance hanging from my neck, Sekhmet, in fact, I'm going to ask Drake if he can quickly do a close-up of this pendant. This is Sekhmet. Sekhmet is the ancient Egyptian lioness-headed goddess of magic, prophecy, carnal lust, healing, and the scorching heat of the sun. And this is appropriately a citrine quartz, which is such a Leo crystal. This is the pendant I always wear when the sun is in Leo. So if you are open to it, you can call upon Sekhmet to help empower you. Sekhmet or any other deity that has a connection to lions or lionesses. You know, it just so happens that Sekhmet is the mother of Nefertum. Nefertum is a god in the Egyptian pantheon that has the head of a lion, and he is the god of essential oils and unguents. So you can absolutely call upon Nefertum if you want to work with a sacred masculine energy, and ask Nefertum to guide you to an essential oil or an essential oil blend or some other scent that can help you be empowered. And because Sekhmet is connected to this big ball of fire called the sun, and because she is absolutely a lioness, which corresponds to the sun sign Leo, and today is the new moon in Leo, I also would say, if you have any of those pull-out candles and you're not especially sensitive to essential oils and unguents and things of the like, you can absolutely take some of those drops. And I happen to love jojoba oil, but sometimes it's more easy for me to use what's on hand, which is olive oil. Growing up, we always cooked with olive oil. So it's natural for this witch to have olive oil in my home. So I can't tell you how many times I'll take a few drops of essential oils and I'll dress the candle first with olive oil. And it's messy, but it works, man. It really works. And then I'll add a few more drops of essential oils of what my intention is. And of course, herbs. For money candles, I love ground cinnamon. Love ground cinnamon. So that's another thing you can do. But absolutely, you can absolutely call upon Nefertum. You can also call upon Sekhmet's divine consort, Ta, capital Ptah, who is the Egyptian god of creativity and creative expression. Some people call him Oscar because his traditional image is that of the Academy Award. That is not a coincidence, by the way. I've never heard of the Inner Light Tarot, so I look forward to checking it out on Llewellyn's website. I will, if it is on Llewellyn's website, I will include the link to it in the description box. And just an FYI, I know that a lot of people use Amazon.com for convenience, for this, for that. I don't have an issue with Amazon.com, I really don't. I just prefer that companies be more fair with what they do for their employees, number one. And number two, it's not like a billionaire needs more money. I don't have anything against billionaires. That's one of the things that I used to teach in my prosperity classes. If you hate the wealthy, you will have a lot more difficulty attracting money. But I've often said that if you want to attract money, if you want to have more money in your wallet, in your home, in your bank accounts, hating people that have money is not the way to do it. In fact, it's just the way to make money run away from you screaming. But I will say that Sekhmet can also assist you, and the Strength card can certainly assist you, magically speaking, with attracting money and prosperity, with increasing your storehouse of abundance. And was that used Bast, or was that something else? I think that was Bast. So anyway, that being said, and because technically Llewellyn Books is an independent bookseller, I'm a huge advocate for independent booksellers. So that's that. I definitely look forward to hearing some of your experiences with the Strength card. If you wish to share them in the comments, I look forward to you doing so. Please make sure to give this video a like, a share, and as always, I want to thank Llewellyn Books, Llewellyn Publishing, for publishing not only the Inner Light Tarot, but also for continuing to publish their one and only tarot-themed annual. Those of us who buy Llewellyn products, we know that they have tarot decks, they have oracle card decks, they have Lenormand decks, they have divination decks, they have runes, they have pendulums, but when it comes to their annuals, which are produced every year, they have them for Western astrology, the sun sign and the moon sign calendars. They have them for witches, for magic and witchcraft, like the witchy calendar planners. They have them for herbs. They have the fantastical creatures. They have the mythical cats. They have the dragons. They have moon calendars. But this is the only tarot-themed annual. And again, remember that for a full decade, Llewellyn did not publish a tarot-themed annual. So I say to you, especially since this is the month that the 2026 tarot calendar is being published, this is a perfect gift for those of you who love the tarot, who are in lust with the tarot, who collect tarot decks, who use tarot spreads religiously, who want to buy more tarot decks, who want to learn more about the tarot, who want to teach the tarot, who want to expand their tarot awareness, their tarot insights, their tarot what have you. And of course, the more people who publish, the more people who buy this tarot-themed calendar, the greater the chances that Llewellyn will continue publishing it. I'm in a grace period. Because I said that if they publish 5 in a row and they stop, I'll be happy. I won't boycott them. I won't start a petition. None of that. They first began publishing this with the 2019. This is 2025, and before the end of this month, the 2026 calendar will be published. This is gravy for me. And do I want to see them publish this tarot calendar for at least 10 years? Absolutely. I would love that. That doesn't mean that I'm going back on what I said previously. It just means that would I love to see this calendar being published for 10 years in a row? Absolutely. I would love to see Llewellyn Publications publish more than one tarot-themed annual in the calendar year. I would love that. I would love that immensely. I would love to see them do a divination-themed calendar. I would love them to see a divination-themed annual. I would love that. I would love that immensely. And I'm happy and thankful for this. Very much so. So, Llewellyn Publications, if you're watching, and I hope you are, thank you for continuing to publish your tarot-themed calendar. I am thankful, I am happy, I am grateful, and I am so thrilled that you're continuing to do so. And for those of you in YouTube land, thank you as always for all the likes, all the comments, all the shares, and all the subscriptions to my YouTube channel, and an extra big and beautiful and bountiful thank you to those of you who have already scheduled your sessions. As always, stay in tune with your intuition, stay safe, stay well, stay hydrated, and stay tuned for the next video.